When people think of Vince Gill, they often think of one of the smoothest voices in country music, a man whose songs can melt your heart or move your soul. But behind that golden voice and the countless awards lies something far deeper, a faith that quietly shapes his life, his music, and his message. Vince Gill's legacy is not just about fame or skill. It's about faith expressed through melody, kindness, and compassion. Vince Gill has always been a master of blending genres, country, bluegrass, rock, and gospel, all in perfect harmony. His soaring tenor voice, his skill on guitar, banjo, and mandolin, and his ability to cross musical boundaries have made him one of the most respected musicians of our time. But beyond his technical brilliance, Vince writes songs that mean something. His lyrics often reflect themes of hope, forgiveness, loss, and redemption, truths that come from a heart grounded in something eternal. One of his most beloved songs, Go Rest High on That Mountain, was born out of grief after the passing of his half-brother. It took him years to finish, but when he did, the song became a spiritual anthem, a message of heavenly rest and hope that has comforted millions. And that's what makes Vince Gill's songwriting so special. It's not just art, it's ministry and melody. Among his peers, Vince earned nicknames like Sweet Pea and Benefit, not because of his stage persona, but because of his heart. He's known for giving back, especially to children's and music charities in Tennessee. He's the kind of man who uses his platform to help others, quietly but consistently. That same humility shows up in his collaborations. Over the years, Vince has appeared on more than 1,000 albums, working with legends from Dolly Parton and Willie Nelson to Eric Clapton and the Eagles. Yet, no matter who he sings with, his warmth and sincerity always shine through. When Vince Gill married Amy Grant in the year 2000, their union stirred both admiration and controversy. At the time, both were coming out of previous marriages. Amy had divorced Gary Chapman, and Vince had divorced Janice Oliver. Their relationship drew public scrutiny, especially within the Christian community, where such matters are often discussed intensely. Yet beyond the headlines and opinions, only God truly knows the heart. Both Vince and Amy have spoken openly about their journey, not as a story of perfection, but as one of grace, healing, and new beginnings. Since then, their marriage has grown into a powerful partnership rooted in faith and music. Together, they've performed and recorded songs that celebrate forgiveness, redemption, and God's mercy, most notably on Amy's Grammy-winning album Rock of Ages. Hymns and Faith, which Vince co-produced. Their story reminds us that faith isn't about flawless lives, but about a God who restores, redeems, and continues writing new chapters of grace. Vince's love for gospel music also led him to join Bill and Gloria Gaither, icons of Southern gospel. In 2012, he performed Go Rest High on That Mountain live with the Gaither Homecoming Friends, a moment that many fans still call one of the most moving performances ever captured on stage. He also appeared on Gaither Country Bluegrass Favorites with the heartfelt song, Tell Me One More Time About Jesus. And that's exactly what Vince's music keeps doing, telling people about Jesus, not through preaching, but through pure sincerity. In 2021, Vince collaborated with We Are Messengers on Image of God. The band's frontman, Darren Mulligan, described Vince as a man who really loves God. And you can feel that. It's not loud, it's not showy, but it's real. Vince Gill's faith is not the kind that fits neatly into boxes or denominational lines. He's often said he didn't grow up heavily involved in church life, but gospel music and the quiet example of his grandmother, a church pianist, helped shape his spiritual foundation. Over time, his faith became less about ritual and more about relationship, about kindness, grace, and humility. When protesters once confronted him over his personal life, Vince responded not with anger, but with truth. He told them that his faith was about forgiveness, not judgment. That moment revealed the kind of Christianity Vince Gill lives out, one built on mercy, not pride. His 2019 album, Okie, features the touching song, When My Amy Prays. It's a glimpse into his soul, a husband watching his wife's faith in action, moved by her prayers, and recognizing the beauty of a heart that leans on God. And through grief, Vince has continued to let faith lead. Bread and Water tells of his brother's struggles and of Christ's power to satisfy our deepest hunger. Through pain, he points to peace. Vince Gill's story is one of grace meeting talent, of a man who doesn't just sing about faith, but lives it in quiet, genuine ways. His journey reminds us that faith doesn't always shout. Sometimes it sings softly, in the way you treat people, in the way you forgive, and in the way you love. He may be a country legend, but his true legacy lies in his heart. A heart that finds light in sorrow, hope in pain, and peace in the presence of God. Maybe you're watching this and going through a season of loss, or doubt, or waiting. Vince Gill's story reminds us of something timeless. That faith isn't about perfection, it's about direction. It's about walking humbly, showing grace, and finding God's melody in every part of your life. So whether you're on a mountain or in a valley today, remember this: grace still sings, hope still rises, and God's love still plays the sweetest song of all.